My definition of honest is whatever Super tells me is honest. He is my guide.
Classic mistake. Don't listen to Super at anything, realistically. But Skyfox is now going to be on this offense first. Looking like they're probably going to let the Sombra Goats. Exactly what they're going to be doing. Putting Lastro here on the Ana here, looking for the setups, looking for the cleanups.
So it's 3-2-1 versus 3-2-1 on both sides. Skyfoxes looking for the way in. And really not being too aggressive. Both teams just feeling each other out here so far. Clement, though, starting to make his way on in. Hack. Attempt moving on out. Spectral, though, going to be hacked in turn. Both teams trying out, and Clement goes forward, but as they charge in, Boom falls into his Clement. So the engage a little bit not coordinated. Skyfoxes, they end up losing 2, and GRUNTo in a good spot.
GRUNTo just getting the much better value from the choke board there, getting the isolation that it needed, because while that Sombra hack was out of the Spectral, that's cool, but the reality is that GRUNTo was still out-maneuvering, out-poking the rest of the Skyfoxes front line there. And with that, Spectral has the EMP advantage. They have the Nano advantage here as well. So they're just going to look to potentially just set up this EMP very, very early in the following fight. They don't have to be aggressive, though. They can play slow, and the defense, it favors this mirror matchup because it's on the offense to try to make the move.
The one scary thing here for the offense of Skyfox is that they're also playing this pretty slow. When King's Row is one of the few maps that you can play incredibly quickly. The spawn is right there. You can get a lot of attempts on point. Skyfox is taking a much slower approach. Spectral to the back. Ends up getting denied. Doesn't have EMP up just yet. And now Skyfoxes, after forcing somewhere out, they bring things to the point. But Umte flanking Earth Shatter. Ends up falling to the ground himself. Spectral, though, making some use out of it. 5-on-5. Clement taking down Umte for the flank attempt. And this is a better trade for the Skyfox. You gotta rally. Clement with the Shatter of his own, and it's far bigger.
Umte making what is called the big play. It's called the flank. He tries to make it work there, and he hits several members, but he gets slept by Lastro and then cleaned up. And his team, they're not in a position to follow up because Bustio drops the grab. It's a peel grab to deny the cleanup for GRUNTo. And then Clement just walks forward, recognizes his chance, and just drops the Shatter to end it. So a risky play, very much a risk versus reward play there that Umte does, and he gets punished for it.
And the thing I wonder there is that on one hand, we'd be praising the genius if it worked, but also GRUNTo was just generally winning in the neutral up to that point. They're in a better spot ult-wise. I don't think they need to take that risk. But Salty can be opening up here with the grab. Start things out. Skyfoxes heading a little bit further back. Not too phased here so far. They deal with the Graviton. They have EMP up of their own. Both teams the EMP ready. But Skyfox is backing up a bit.
Skyfoxes are trying to play very passive right now. They're waiting for the EMP. Oh. The EMP catches 6. Can they clean it up, though?
6-man EMP, and they get Spectral immediately. Now they don't have to worry about the counter EMP, and Skyfox's fast break opportunity, just moving forward, getting cleanup. One might take down 2 in the library, but it's not going to amount to anything.
They can be taxied back as well, so Wub getting those 2 frags, but it's not going to be the most impact frags necessarily. And a really good play from Skyfoxes there, where after that and grab comes out, after the Nano is used for Lastro, they know they have to play passive because the Spectral EMPs, they don't have any counters. They have no counters without the Nano, without an EMP, without having to invest their own EMP. They back up, they force GRUNTo in a closer position, then set up a very, very good EMP.
Spectral, and they grab here, and immediately drop the Graviton, heading 3. Bustio with the peel grab, but it's not enough. They still lose 2 immediately, including Bustio himself, so that's going to be Skyfoxes getting repelled, and GRUNTo gets a chance to fully reset.
Umte having the perfect charge, just finishing out right where Hoon was leaving. And now GRUNTo, they can reset up on the choke, but the thing is that's risky. It's risky to hold the choke here because Hoon could just go around you. Hoon could just go around you on that Sombra, get the back cap, so they're probably going to have to back up here a bit, play closer to the point. Nearly triple support up for GRUNTo. And Skyfoxes, now that they don't have the grab, it's going to be a little bit tougher for them to crack. They're going to have to wait for EMP.
Boone at 62%, they shouldn't have to wait too long. But they also have enough in reserve that if they see an opportunity, they can invest for it. And Umte snipes down Lastro, the Fire Strike. Going to be buying a lot of time for GRUNTo.
Spectral going to go down in return, but still, as of right now, GRUNTo, they're in a great position. The Shatter off from Clement.
Shatter knocks down 3, but I'm not sure the follow-up was going to be there. GRUNTo, they drop a grab in response, and they completely turn the fight. So not only is Shatter gone, but GRUNTo makes the most of the situation while Lastro was still out of the fight.
The Nano, though, the raid boss attitude with that Nano from Lastro, he's there. They clean up Umte, but GRUNTo, they can just back up. There's 2 members versus the world, and GRUNTo can just play the choke and wait for their spawners. They don't even have to commit to this fight.
Well, respawns are in here from Skyfoxes, and the EMP is ready, so I do think there's a window for Skyfoxes. Now that they've regrouped, GRUNTo back out. No! Spectral gets slept. He's down the Clone Man. Big advantage to Skyfoxes next fight. They're up 1. They have EMP. And they're just going to roll forward here. GRUNTo, they need the Shatter of the Gods. EMP comes out over the top, strikes 3. Lucio there in the follow through. Umte, not a lot to do. Gets the nano, moves forward, has the Shatter. Gonna be hoping for the miracle play here, but Skyfoxes are just working with the huge edge. The hack comes in, and that should be it.
Skyfoxes should definitely win this fight now. I mean, they've removed Umte, they removed the nano and the Shatter. And GRUNTo, I think they need to back up there a lot more. They could have waited for the fight. They had the nano to survive the EMP. Spectral getting caught by Lessard was really the defining pick because now there was no EMP Shatter. There was no EMP Shatter built for GRUNTo in that fight. They had to wait. They were playing passive while Skyfoxes was still taking cart time. So the cart continues to move. They will have grab very soon for Skyfoxes. They know there's no support ults either. So for GRUNTo, it's sort of, we need to engage first type of scenario for them. They can't give up the space. They've been playing kind of passively.
GRUNTo in the next fight, likely going to be leading the EMP. They'll also have the Grav in reserve as well. Skyfoxes, Shatter Grav of their own, soon to be EMP as well. So whichever EMP strikes first here, going to be giving the team an edge. Well, man, under heavy focus fire right now. GRUNTo starting to run a bit. Umte, though, slept! And Clement's into the pit! Zolik striking from the outside. Attitude with 2.
But the Raid Boss, it's the Raid Boss, CP. They still didn't invest any of their ults. They used the grab there, but the Raid Boss, he's in the back line. He can't be stopped, forcing the nano.
Attitude still gets another! Just a Brigida in the back line, uncontested. Finally, Attitude falls out. I think GRUNTo's going to pull this one back to an extent. But that was so much value from Attitude.
It was. They were able to stay in the fight, but they're not going to be able to move the cart any further. EMP still held for both teams here. And GRUNTo now, this is another position where if they wait too long, the EMP Shatter comes out, and Beat is still not necessarily enough to save you from EMP Shatter. It's such a high-value ult combo. They might just need to engage first, and that's what they do.
Well, the EMP first, and Clone Man immediately pays the price. Don't have to worry about Shatter if the other Rhine is gone. And that's really all that's going to fall for Skyfoxes. They have a decent retreat right after, but they're delayed, and now they're down to their final 40 seconds. They had 2 minutes to begin with, and the best they can do now is finish in overtime.
Rob and Zolik need to play split here to make sure that they can stay alive. His update, they actually go for the aggressive. They go for an aggressive engage there.
Skyfoxes still potentially getting the better of this 4-on-4 after the EMP, but they lose Clone Man, and that ruins their ability to immediately get into point threat the way they want. But man, Lucio charged up. Will be more of a threat next fight. Ends up with 4.
He's going to have grab for this upcoming fight. Though with no EMP for Hoon, this means that even if the grab is able to come out, GRUNTo will have some portals to survive and sustain. A big portion of this fight is, can GRUNTo be split enough where the grab doesn't get insane value? And can they get one of their fight winners? Can they get grab? Can they get EMP?
Shatter from Coleman, so big, 3 to the ground, has the nano, moves in. The grab setting him up, the beat though, keeping GRUNTo alive. Coleman goes for the long charge away from the point, removes Azaria, but also removes himself from point for a while. GRUNTo still looking to remove Skyfoxes away. Charge in from Umte, looks for Cloman. Cloman though getting bubbled, winning the Rhine vs. Rhine battle. Umte nowhere to go, put himself in his own corner. As Skyfoxes start getting pick-off after pick-off, they're likely now gonna finish this one out. It's an overtime, but it still counts as a full completion.
And Skyfoxes really just falling up off that shadow from Cloman. Cloman keeping them in the series realistically at a lot of these points. And at no point could GRUNTo find a very, very solid point to stop it. They didn't have the ult cycle that they ever needed. Salty getting charged out of the grab meant that a lot of the damage, a lot of the utility was gone, and also with denying the chance for him to even get grab of his own. And this is how we talked about earlier in the series, how this was likely a map that Skyfoxes could take versus GRUNTo, because you can just put a lot of your resources into Cloman and Lastro.
And, I mean, it's good to see the Skyfoxes go back to this to a degree where I think they were very DPS heavy in the first 2 maps, where I was questioning, okay, Skyfoxes, what are you going to show us here in Kings Row? Because you can't do that the entire time. And I think you're right. They did play it rather well.
So now GRUNTo moving here onto the offense. If they get a draw here, even if they get a draw, so just getting the full cap with OT and then setting up a draw, they still win the series.
Full cap with over a minute left.
With over a minute left. Yes, yeah, with over a minute left. So for Skyfoxes, it's a question of stopping them before they get the full cap, really. That is their one chance here to guarantee that they win this map and continue forward in the series, is that they need to stop GRUNTo from full capping.
Or at a minimum, if GRUNTo is going the full cap, recognize that you need to play for extra rounds. The draw is not good enough, then swap to something that lets you delay and at least get the time under the minute mark, so you keep hope alive. But the best way, of course, as you just said, hold them here in point A.
Hold them here, point A, point B, or even just stopping point C. Any of the points, it'd be great to hold. Skyfoxes once again on this Sombra Goat setup with Lessard Diana. Going to be mirror matching GRUNTo, playing much the same. But the defense, it's all how do they react to this? Can they get an early hack? Can they get a nade? Great early nade.
Salty immediately down. And off the early pickoff, Skyfox looking, but oh, the counter nade in from Rob seals Attitude's fate. And suddenly, GRUNTo, the opportunity to head back in. They're going to get the respawn a lot sooner than Skyfoxes will.
They can pressure the front line a lot more heavily. With Wub still in the fight, they don't have to be afraid. Attitude coming back from spawn right now. As GRUNTo, they've got into point control. They've already gotten close to this first tick.
Skyfox is having to back up. They're ceding more and more ground to GRUNTo right now because they're down Attitude. And as soon as Attitude gets back in, he gets dropped immediately. just abducting him from the other side. And that's going to be GRUNTo with a very quick point A take. And we're talking about win conditions for Skyfoxes. Well, the point A hold is out.
Point A is gone, and GRUNTo, they're going to continue to chase. They're going to hopefully see if they can catch some of these stagger kills. Salty moving forward there, but not able to find anyone. Zolik in the speed boost, are going to come on back. And GRUNTo, you see how aggressive they're holding. They're trying to continue to get picks, trying to build up that grab for Salty quite early. Because we're in a situation that even though Skyfoxes did lose first very quickly, they're going to be close to equaling the ult charge for GRUNTo. So we're acting a very equal ult fight.
It's a fight that really Skyfoxes need to win. Just even if you talk about point C, they need to even some time. Oh, the shatter comes in. Clowman hits the dirt. Umte just sets the tone of the fight. Who drops EMP here? Skyfoxes trying to bring this on. Look at Boostio, supercharged up and nanoed. Boostio turning the tide off the EMP, but counter grab in GRUNTo. They also not looking to give it up.
That grab should have sealed the fate here. Boostio is caught behind. He's going to get picked up. I like Skyfoxes by choosing to invest in that fight. I think it was actually the right call because look at GRUNTo's ult bank. They removed almost everything. Sure, they'll have beat, they'll have rally, but Skyfoxes, they'll have ults of their own. They're going to be equaling that. I think in that particular case, dropping the nano, investing the EMP was worth it for Skyfoxes so you can have a better point B recontest.
Well, not only that, but also this area of point B is one where you can hold for quite a while, especially if you can get an even fight. So full agreement that this is an ideal situation for that, and they drank quite a bit. But now they have to execute the opportunity they've given themselves. Rally going to be used here immediately. Skyfoxes moving in. Clowman drops a shatter again, knocking 3 to the ground.
Good early bubble burn there, setting up the shatter. And Clowman, very, very good from him. Skyfoxes using the opportunity they made earlier on in Streets phase that they could walk in, counter the rally, and just set up Clowman.
So Clowman was here last time. Next time for Skyfoxes, gonna be looking to Boostio.
Zolik will have that beat, and Spectral getting close to the EMP. So for GRUNTo, I mean, this is a situation where they would look to just want to engage first. They don't want to get grabbed. They would much rather just set up EMP Shatter, win the fight immediately right there.
And to that exact point, it's all on Boostio here. Boostio low on energy, but going to be very aggressively pursuing this Graviton. He needs to get the Graviton out before EMP comes in. As far as he's concerned, EMP is ready to go. And now it about is it. Boostio, spring first, gets the early Graviton, counter EMP in, and the EMP sets up the shatter. Umte puts Clowman on the grab, but Clowman, nanoed, still in the fight, able to survive the charge from Umte, and the EMP built by whom mid-fight? Skyfoxes, able to use that to take down Umte, move the other way. Clowman, another shatter, and the Skyfoxes hold off GRUNTo once more.
Oh, GRUNTo, they were waiting for so long to commit their barrier there. Spectral, he was at 99 to the EMP when the grab came out, so Skyfoxes, they just get the engage first. Good read for Skyfoxes, and just unfortunate circumstances there for GRUNTo in terms of they didn't have the EMP up. Zolik, he was afraid to commit beat because he didn't want to use it for grab because the EMP was up for Hoon, and then by the time he drops it, they've already lost Umte. They don't have the cleanup they need.
GRUNTo, 2 minutes left. They've lost a lot of time here on point B. Salty taking initiative, grabs immediately. They get Clowman out of the fight, and it's Umte's turn to be sparkly, electric, and moving on forward. 6 on 4 for GRUNTo, and think Skyfoxes, you gotta let this go.
Cargo are going to go down late, so they don't have the speed boost either. They contest. There could be some contests happening for Skyfoxes. Hoon, he's there to pressure on the flanks, but the reality is I don't think it's a wise idea. I don't think they're going to try either, and that is not what they're going to do. So second bean cap for GRUNTo. Oh, a little over 3 minutes left for their offense. They have EMP, they have Rally, so they have a strong engage capability here, but Skyfoxes is also getting close to their ult cycle.
Skyfoxes at minimum, they need to burn 2 minutes off the clock to avoid the draw scenario, which would seal the series. Early EMP from Spectral. Hits 4 for the Skyfoxes, but the Skyfoxes, it's not really a good EMP. The Skyfoxes run phase. GRUNTo wasn't able to follow it through. Lowman gets a little bit low, but now just retreating.
Now Skyfoxes, they have EMP Shatter. EMP Shatter is available. They don't have to deal with EMP at all. They can just drop it, look for the early fight win. Looks like they don't even want to have to invest Shatter. They'd just rather clean it up with the nade, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And they make sure to take down Umte early so they still have the option of a good Shatter if it is required mid-fight, but it's not. EMP was enough. It kept GRUNTo back, and no Shatter required.
Now for GRUNTo, they're not close to beat. They're not close to beat, which is really the crux of this upcoming fight for them, is that Boostio has grab. Boostio has grab, and if he grabs early, gets an early pick, there's no beat to save unless Rob hits a great nano.
Very early Graviton. Cloman, his life is in the balance, and Cloman is gone. Boostio's counter grab, not enough to save Umte. With Nano moving forward, Earth Shatter up, no Ryan on the other side. This is where big shatters happen.
He doesn't need it now. He definitely does not need it now. They're getting the cleanup frags. They didn't have to invest beat. They did use the nano, but this is good. This is a very good position to be in for GRUNTo. They survived the grab. They moved forward. They only had to use that nano, but not that close to the EMP still, and they're hoping to finish out last.
Could be a battle of the Rhines here. Skyfox is down one. Cloman gets hacked, can't drop the shatter, ends up getting slept. So much CC on the Cloman as Boostio gets the nano off on the other side. Forward with the rest of Skyfoxes. Cloman getting low. He's getting focused down by everything right now, but Cloman says, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me, gets 2!
And it's done, this fight's over. They invested that shatter, hoping to finish off people very, very quickly, but the reality is that right now, the longer this fight runs, they need to get out. GRUNTo, they just need to get out, and last year with a great saving nano, keeping Boostio alive. And for GRUNTo, they just didn't have any cleanup. They had no finish. They had no finish there. They were hoping to finish with a shatter only versus a Devil's Portal. But if you don't have a grab, if you don't have an EMP, the Devil's Portal for Skyfoxes, the sustain there, it's just too much.
And the Skyfoxes have hit the main priority here, is that they've gotten the time under a minute. They'll get an attack no matter what. But how much sweeter would it be for them here if they were able to get the hold? EMP early. Boostio flung through. Beat down response with Cloman again. A shatter knocking down 2 with Regina, paying the price.
Oh, GRUNTo, this is where they used beat in that fight. They were able to hold on to EMP still, so another great early engage for Skyfoxes as Spectral. He's setting up in the backline, waiting to EMP. He's at 99, and Skyfoxes just go first. They go first, they finish up that fight. Zolik beat not going to be in play either for Boostio's grab. This is another situation where Skyfoxes, I think if they want to win, they can try to get this grab off first. They really would like to initiate first.
You don't have to tell Boostio twice. Boostio, he's already going around on the flank looking for the early grab. GRUNTo, though, is looking for it, but Lastro takes down Zolik on a DPS in play. Graviton can be used by both sides. One grab on the payload. Cloman stuck to the side, but Cloman still moving in, has the nano. Lastro with another! Lastro's just swapped to full DPS mode. Cloman, though, needs to move to the point. And again, stuck in the corner, but this time, still somehow alive. Cloman hasn't died yet. Boostio takes down one. Cloman, gone out. Doesn't quite have shatter yet. Still praying for a heal. Lastro finally gonna get to him. Cloman against the odds. Still alive here. Lastro working on the heels. EMP coming out. Cloman still in there. Some way. Cloman still in the fight, but unable to stand.
Not
the point.
able to touch though.
No.
Lastro's taking there was legitimately insane. Not only the picks, but the amount of heals he was giving out, keeping his members alive, but just losing those picks. The EMP, so crucial from Spectral, and if they had just been able to touch, there, that fight was winnable. The nano was going to come out. It definitely was a winnable fight for Skyfox, and they have to be kicking themselves, but they did get to OT. So a minute for both squads. So winnable for Skyfoxes still. They can still stay in this series.
It is 100% anyone's game at this point. Obviously, I think Skyfoxes on review can look at that and go, man, we really could have held them back, and it's very true, they could have. But now we'll get to see what they have on the attack. Sides have been swapped. And attacking first can be a benefit here. If they're able to get point A, they'll know exactly how much they can give on the defense and play around to a degree.
See attitude just scoping out on the window, just gonna look a little bit of scouting here. Skyfox is likely just gonna have to mirror match up here again on this offense because probably one of the best comps in terms of snowballing to push forward if you win first is Sombra Goats. Having an EMP, having your ult cycle, following first point. They've been feeling confident in the mirror.
However, the counter argument is that you don't always have enough time to get an EMP. Now, the other side's running Sombra, so it's less of an issue, but you also could just run over the other team with the full standard.
Or triple DPS even. Triple DPS is also another option for getting the first very quickly. But it's a question of how do you carry that momentum forward. Carry that momentum forward past the first point. And the slow game means there's one fight. There's only going to be one fight here to determine the entire map. Determine the series between Skyfox and GRUNTo because of the setup.
33 seconds left. Boom. Gets hacked under heavy pressure. Gonna fall. It's a big loss here for the Skyfoxes. Clowman drops down, ends up falling as well. And Skyfox is going for the full reset. And I think they have enough time.
They have time for another contest with a little less than 20 seconds.
Busio can't fall
but Busio, if he goes down and on top of the ult economy, he's so caught, he's so deep, and he is down.
He won't be back in time.
Skyfox, they have to commit. They have to commit to this fight. For GRUNTo, they have the ult advantage. They have the energy advantage.
In from that, and they don't even get out of spawn for the second attempt. The stagger too intense. Okay, I say they, but Karkar able to go around, touches the point. Nice little bit of footwork from Karkar. Back on over, can't touch again. And that means it is GRUNTo taking the series. Skyfoxes, they don't get a tick, so drawable, but they need a lot more.
They need to get a tick there. They need some sort of win condition, but if it's drawn, which is exactly what it is, the best case scenario for Skyfoxes is a draw for map score. But the series will still be over for them.
And I believe that means if not in full, then essentially GRUNTo is also locked up the #2 seed, which means the real prize there, GRUNTo doesn't have to face Atlanta until the grand finals. GRUNTo stock's going up.
GRUNTo had a very solid strategy there on that defense where they know to play slow to burn that time. They don't have to look really early engage. In fact, the only person that they can remove easily and super crucially is probably the Sombra if they can get a hack. And that's exactly what Spectral does, is he looks for the hack on Hoon, isolates him, and allows his team to get that early frag. That's the most important frag that you get because there was already down to last fight territory because of the setup time for Skyfoxes. So smart read for GRUNTo, smart read for Spectral.
Skyfoxes still in this to play for map score, but as mentioned, the series is over regardless of what happened here. And going back to the strategies that Skyfoxes should have played, I do think playing something more DPS heavy, something that was really focused on getting something in point A, pretty important, just given the world they're in where they had to avoid a draw no matter what.
The Skyfoxes is going to be on this defense. Not a mirror matchup anymore. They're playing Sombra Goats, but GRUNTo, they know that they've already won the series regardless. And what's great to also just win this first fight easily, they don't have to worry about momentum. 3-3. Yeah. Play a standard 3-3. They don't have to worry about getting anything other than one tick on first.
This also allows them to be the aggressors. They just immediately move in off this, and Karkar finds pay dirt. The Skyfoxes off to the other side. Spectral down. Good omen here for the Skyfoxes. They look to make this draw. Ute completely isolated, super deep. Busio more than willing to punish. The Skyfoxes now cleaning up GRUNTo. The GRUNTo 3-3 dive not quite working the way they would have liked.
They had an unfortunate oopsie there. I mean, Rob, he gets a good sleep onto Hoon, and Salty wakes him up on accident. He didn't mean to wake him up. And Salty, he's getting staggered here. He's hacked. He's getting focused. Can he stay alive? If he can stay alive, there's still a chance for GRUNTo. And he is. He gets the nano.
Oh, GRUNTo's backward to a point, but Skyfoxes are coming up on Riley. They're coming up on EMP. GRUNTo's down to Lucio, and the EMP just immediately going to be used. Sets up Clowman Shatter. And it's a good one towards the end. The problem is, it's a draw.
And draw means that Skyfoxes, the series is over for them. They can still play for map score, and map score is important. But the reality is they're probably not going to be dislodging GRUNTo's second place spot anytime soon. And GRUNTo, they're very secure in that position. Good showing continuously for GRUNTo. I think that was probably the best map for Skyfoxes yet. Very, very close, but GRUNTo, really, really solid. They know how to play those neutral fights. It was so important in that minute-v-minute OT push time for that offense for them that they don't lose those picks. And GRUNTo, most importantly, recognizes who is the easiest person to isolate. The Sombra.
Yep.
Can we get the easy hack on Sombra? Yes, because we're looking around, we're looking for the flank. So GRUNTo playing that very well.
Credit where credit is due to Skyfoxes, though, particularly the Clone Man, where Clone Man, I think, is one of the players that, over time, it's easy to miss, has had a pretty significant just arc of improvement in Contenders. You go back to when we first saw him back in 2018 in Contenders, and where he's at now, he's just gotten better and better, and I think he's a main tank player that should be seriously looked at by teams in the Overwatch League at this point.
I think he's shown he has the attitude to improve on top of still having a pretty good flexibility. So it's very important to have that mindset. So definitely do agree with that. I also like the pickups that GRUNTo have made on their own roster too. I like the transition they brought. You know, Harb may have been a fan favorite, but when we look into the flexibility that Spectral brings, especially as we look forward into a 2-2 lock, who would be able both for playoffs and into the gauntlet, Spectral just adds a lot to this squad. And Salty can still play D.Va. Salty can play D.Va and Zarya both at a very fine level.
Well, the interesting thing, though, for 2-2-2 lock is that I would argue Spectral's biggest strength over Harb is that Spectral on more DPS-oriented heroes, I think, is just better than Harb is on those heroes. Harb is, you know, very much in the tank role. But into the future, you're not going to need your off-tank player to play Sombra, so it's kind of an interesting conundrum there when you look at career arcs where the ability to go and swap freely between DPS and tank not going to be as valued into the future.
So we're just getting ready for both squads to get into our final map of this series. GRUNTo, they have picked it up. It's currently 2-0 with that draw on King's Row. So no way for Skyfoxes to bring it back. They're just only playing for map score now. And something that we'll reiterate, and we'll say again now, map score does matter. It does matter. It's important. We've seen teams just missing out on seeds, missing out on playoffs entirely because of map score. So important that Skyfox can maybe get a map here.
Did you ever hear the story of the tragedy of MVP Space, the relegated?
It's not one the NA Contenders would tell you about. It's not a story the NA Contenders would say.
No. But
it is tragic. It is tragic all the same.
Suffice to say, map score does matter, especially when you get eliminated, where all you have to do, make playoffs by winning one map in the final match of the season. Get 4-0'd. Not pretty. Not pretty at all.
So Dorado, get in here. It's going to be our escort, going to be our final map of the series. Skyfoxes now not playing to win the series, but to win to get some map score. A little bit of pride. Because they don't want to be 3-0'd. They would like to, or 2-0'd, I guess. It would be a 3-0 if they would lose this, so they'd rather have a 3-1. Or maybe a 2-1.
A 2-1.
Math is just... Math is hard for me today.
Math is destroying
Math is very hard for me today. It's just, it's the split, you know? It's the split swap between our sleep cycles here.
GRUNTo going to be running with the double sniper. Orisa Hog, multiple pick threats. Skyfoxes, meanwhile, who are you back in and on the Pharah?
So Skyfoxes playing low and slow. Playing these Orisa Hog setup. GRUNTo going to be mirroring that here. So it's sort of a matter of just waiting for the picks, waiting for the damage to come out. With who are you in, they're going to be relying a lot more on the shield break from the Pharah, maybe getting the pressure onto this backline. And Salty is already out of mech.
So Salty being out of the mech definitely opens this up for the Skyfoxes. And Clone Man, nice halt there, ends up getting the Mercy. Skyfoxes, early pickoff, real opportunity, but Spectral and Umte going to strike back for GRUNTo. Now things get a little bit more scrappy. Spectral still in the back, still very much a threat, especially the Who Are You? And strikes.
Spectral! My
goodness.
Those are some insane flicks. I mean, he's so low. All of GRUNTo right now, extremely low. They need to fear this Pharah. Any splash damage at all, someone's dead, but Zolik has now made it back.
So GRUNTo able to restabilize here. And I have to say, I'm not really a big fan of Pharah comps here. And that's a good swap. As I'm about to go into rant about how Pharah versus Widow here is incredibly difficult, Who Are You goes, I agree. That's why I'm going to go Genji.
The seldom seen, we haven't not seen this in a while, the Who Are You Genji, it is back.
I'm surprised Karkar's still in the Mercy at this point. It must be saving for Valkyrie, because not the best synergy here, to say the least. And okay, Who Are You? Gets a nano boost, no Dragon Blade required. Going to the back, chasing down Widow. Sweet revenge! Gets Widow on the other side. And Who Are You? This is an incredibly fast blade build, already 75%. Aided by the nano, sure, but that's still quick.
And now he's going to see this Hog. He's like, give me a blade. Thank you, Hog, for the blade. The Blade is available now. No defensive ult for GRUNTo, but he doesn't need to use it. Skyfoxes, they have complete control of the point. Well, we'll get that pick on Abucio, but it's still fine because Skyfoxes is going to get this cap.
Vintage, who are you in play right now? As a player that really made his name known off Genji play, now bringing it out here and already impressive, and we haven't even seen a Blade yet.
GRUNTo doesn't have any defensive ults either, so this Blade is an insta-fight winner. In fact, this is probably the best possible case for Skyfox to just roll all the way through point B. Coolman pops a supercharger. They're probably going to force a bomb there, but if they win the fight with the supercharger, then Blade for the following. It's a very, very good position to be in if you're Skyfoxes when you look at this ult bank that they have. Salty's bomb is really going to be the defining factor.
Or Spectral getting a hack. If Spectral can get a good hack, they can push one way. Here comes Who Are You. The Blade is out immediately, takes Moira's head right off. Devastating Blade from Who Are You, setting the tone, makes it 3 before the very end. And the Skyfoxes off the Genji do incredible work. And yeah, time to swap.
A good read. I mean, they use the supercharger there as well, so both of their big ults.
Going back far, I think.
Yep, it is going to be the Pharah. You are correct there. It's going to be tough for GRUNTo to effectively deal with that when they don't have an Ana or any sort of hit scan. But Salty still has bomb for this following fight. And for GRUNTo, they're just going to look to try to set up break shield and put Salty's bomb in a spot where they can get value. As look at this aggression from GRUNTo onto the backline.
The Pharah swap here is so smart too. After they've swapped off the Widow, the Skies are Who Are Used to dominate, takes down the Winston. And the pressure from the Skyfoxes right now completely overwhelming GRUNTo.
Salty wasn't even get a chance to set up that bomb because GRUNTo just went to the backline. They went to the backline trying to find any sort of value there with the Moira. They didn't find anything. And now Skyfoxes, they own the point. The Nano's out. They're going to get another frag. So it's essentially done. GRUNTo, they're deciding to commit, though. They dropped the EMP.
Who Are You not being stopped here yet? Might be on the ground, but ground Pharah, still a strategy, even when it's forced on you. And Who Are You? Definitely making his presence felt here in Dorado in a way that really wasn't felt earlier in the series.
I really don't know why GRUNTo decided to commit their EMP to that part right there. They got nothing out of it. No, they didn't even stop the cap. They got no other ults out of Skyfoxes. And now they're having to come in here into this next fight. They still hold on to the bomb, but they don't have EMP anymore. There's so many ults for Skyfoxes. It's a tough scenario to be in for GRUNTo.
Rob sleeping on the job on the other side. Lastro able to tag him with the sleep dart. Take 40 low, and oh, Salty sets a tone. The bomb gonna be ruining some of the momentum here for Skyfoxes. Who Are You? Is he gonna go for it?
No, he's trying to
crazy
leave.
enough to go for the barrage here. Yes, he is. And immediately falls.
The madman.
He's got to be
He must be swapped. Yeah, he must be swapping because there's no reason that should be a thing. So it's definitely going to be a swap probably onto the 3-3 or Sombra Goats even. With Who Are You going to the Brigida, I bet Hoon goes Sombra, maybe even goes Diva. So yeah, this is going to be 3-3 setup for Skyfoxes. And GRUNTo, they've stabilized it there. With Salty's bomb, they've stabilized the push. Kept themselves in it. It looks like you see where Rob is positioned up on this high ground. GRUNTo just wants to take a very aggressive fight. A very aggressive fight with this Coalescence. They don't want to necessarily play it slow because they want to save the EMP for the following fight.
Rob getting dropped Coalescence, and what a value area for Coalescence. It's so overpowered in this part of Dorado. It's just a tiny corridor. Either get up the high ground or die.
And GRUNTo, I think they're actually going to stay on this composition here because Moira is not a bad stylistic matchup versus the Ana. You can take very aggressive fights. The EMP is going to come out for Spectral, and then GRUNTo's just going to rush forward with their Moira, going to look to clean it up. But actually, though, Rob going to make the swap onto the Ana now. So an equally valid position to be in because then when they EMP, now they can just throw the nade.
One man can only experience so much power of the Coalescence before needing the swap.
So Skyfoxes are going to look to rotate from this high ground, take this fight. You see how Hoon is playing split, trying to get this cart pressure. And GRUNTo, they're just waiting. They're waiting for Skyfox to show themselves so they can set the EMP.
Spectral dropping the EMP early. Skyfox is getting completely tagged by it, and yet Clement's able to live. He has Nano on him, still swinging for the fences. Umte, though, living on the other side. A good bubble. Gonna save his bacon. And the Skyfoxes gonna be going back and trying to attempt a push from the ground.
GRUNTo, they're about to have double supportal. They also have the Shatter. They have lots of ults to the bank here before Skyfoxes really has any defensives. There's the grab early. They should be able to clean this up.
No Nano available this time. Cloman immediately falling off the Graviton. And time is quickly being burned away here by GRUNTo on point C. Skyfoxes have a lot of momentum off of some very good hero swaps from Who Are You. But now, you have to play last point Dorado pretty standard. It's not really a point that's open to a whole lot of variation. It's just tank heavy.
With Salty's grab being invested there, there is an opening here for Skyfoxes. They'll have the early grab potential, can force out the portal, set up their EMP, or they can just drop the EMP Shatter very early. Either options are good. They just need to finish it out quickly before GRUNTo gets the chance to engage. They could also just engage aggressively on this high ground with the Nano, but right now the onus is on Skyfox. Skyfoxes, they need to try to set up this engagement.
30 seconds.
Moon, EMP about to be up. GRUNTo going to need to give this a little bit more space. And now look towards Hoon. Hoon's going to be coming in over the top here with the EMP in just a moment. Cloman, almost the bait on the payload. They're looking for the EMP Shatter, but instead they get EMP'd first! Setting up the Shatter from the other side. Umte going to be taking down Cloman. And remember, it's 10 seconds up. This is final fight for Skyfox. He's going to have to do it without the added Cloman. Bustio going to drop the ground talk. Not a great spot for the EMP because drop it anyways. Actually, still manages to tag 4, but look at Zolik in over the top. Uses the beat. Keeps GRUNTo alive in the moment. Now Hoon's going to have to be the one to go, I guess I'm touching the point.
Well, he's touching, but he's also sleeping. He'll be going down very quickly. And GRUNTo, they have definitely stopped this push for now. Skyfoxes, I don't even think it's a touch. No, they cannot. And great EMP from Spectral, catching Hoon, who was just trying to find Salty with that hack early, deny the bubbles, deny the damage, and gets right in the LOS of the EMP.
Initiation really setting the tide there. Just the mere fact that GRUNTo was able to get first initiation meant that Skyfoxes, who was also looking for an EMP Shatter, well, guess what? Cloman was gone, and they had to settle for an EMP in a less than ideal situation.
So Skyfoxes looking here on this defense to stop GRUNTo. They don't want to lose this map. I mean, they still want to play for the map score. And GRUNTo, they have their win condition. Just push it a little bit farther. It's not even a full cap necessarily. Just have to push it a little bit further than the full cap. But still plenty of chances for Skyfoxes to be able to stop that push for GRUNTo.
And of course, what is at stake here is map score. Skyfoxes cannot bring this to a map 5 because we had a draw, and GRUNTo's up 2 maps. So winning Dorado, that only gives them 1 map, which is not enough to tie. Math. Now you know.
Now I know. Now I know. Thank you, ZP.
I mean, I was saying that to the audience as well.
Really helping us out. Really helping us out here today.
But
Very
you were
educational.
mathematically challenged early in the broadcast.
I was a little bit. It's as they say, it be like that. It do be like that when you're working off the sleep schedule sometimes that we do.
You act like we had to get up at 4 a.m. Actually, way earlier to do Korean Contenders Day. No, you're right. You did. It's been a long day. I didn't even sleep.
Ah, well, there we go. Wow, impressive that your math skills are still so ready. You know?
Basic arithmetic is my jam.
That is my jam, he says. Skyfoxes, though, going to be on this defense. They're playing the Widow Pharah with that Hogarissa, and already, bye-bye, Hoon. Going to be picked up there. And GRUNTo, they're just going to play this cart presence, going to play slow. They have Zolik on the Batiste, so they have no reason to necessarily play this pick game. They could just play tight, use the Immortality Field, wait for the Amplification Matrix to win the Shield War, and all Spectral will have to do is just play off angles.
Even on the defense, where it's a little bit better than the VAR, I'm still not the biggest fan here. Spectral is going to be applying a lot of pressure with Who Are You? Who Are You constantly. And they take cover on the rooftops, which also means the spam is not as effective as it otherwise could be. Bustio, though, being pagered on the Widow with 2 here so far with 3. Bustio just ripping the other side apart. Who Are You going to be going to the scraps? So Umte holding here on the payload. GRUNTo might not care if they're able to just continue to push through.
They will not be able to. They're going to be cleaned up there in the end, despite those frags going down on point. Bustio with those picks, saving the day for Skyfoxes, keeping them in here. Who Are You now will have the barrage. But the thing about the barrage is that into this triple tank setup with the double sniper, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to wait until some cooldowns are used until GRUNTo are not looking for him. Look for that great engage because it's not going to be the easiest way to set up value for a barrage.
And Who Are You is essentially having to use sightlines constantly avoid. Halt! Going for Who Are You, he gets sniped out! Down to Wub, set up by the Orisa. Not the usual way of dealing with the Pharah, but it's good enough. Meanwhile, Umte back to dominating on the payload with Rob. And Skyfoxes just falling one by one here. The Nano Hoon for the nanoed whole hog. Trying to make a little bit of space and
making a lot of space.
It actually works out to a degree.
It's a question now, can GRUNTo win this following post fight? And I really don't think they can. Hoon, with the space that he's created, there's a real chance for them to stay in here. They're playing their card, they're playing slowly with the res.
Were you going to get Rez back into fray after blowing himself up with his own barrage?
Special with 3 though.
They need someone on the payload.
They can't touch.
Karkar's not in time.
Really, really good there. Really good picks from Spectral. You see a little bit of Widow duel coming out late. And Boostio will win that Widow duel. But it doesn't really matter because the point has already been capped.
So who are you? He was Genji the last time we were on point B. He's going to be Genji here again, but this time on the defense. And look, I think the Genji is a good player, and Spectral very likely going to be swapping off the Widow. I would not want to be on Widow, at least versus who are used Genji. It's not that Genji is necessarily the auto hard counter, but still not an ideal matchup. Bomb comes out early. Boostio able to take down Zolik. Back and forth, 5v5. Who are you dropping back on in? Takes down the Orisa. And here we go again.
Who are you fighting too early? Karkar gonna get this res. And even with that Dragon, I mean, actually, Dragon Strike finds 2. So GRUNTo, they can play slow and come back into this fight with those picks. It means Skyfoxes can't really finish it off immediately.
Still getting payload pressure here. Salty just beautifully pushing the payload from the back. But who are you? He has the scent of Widow. Chasing around. Wub takes down his Widow, so might have to be Shimada. Up here on top, who are you? Under a lot of pressure from multiple angles.
There's the hook halt. They are going to be able to find Spectral, but the Matrix there. But who are you there? He's there to dash. He's close to the blade. If he gets his blade within this fight, as everyone's moved away, just shifted away from the payload, that there's no defensives. No defensives for GRUNTo at all. But they don't even need it because with that halt, it's done. The fight's already over.
Who are you? Not yet sated. Dragon Blade. Ready to go. The question is, does he wait out the Valkyrie?
I think he definitely tries to wait out the Valkyrie here.
Well, good enough. Drops the blade, immediately deals with Widow. Still 3 seconds left.
Wub.
Oh, no. Takes him down.
Valkyrie done, but with the supercharger out on cart and Rob using that full hog sort of to stop Who Are You from finishing people on the cart. It's a question of, can Skyfoxes really remove this position that GRUNTo currently have?
Who are you already about halfway to a blade, but Rob puts a quick end to that, lands the hook. GRUNTo, not necessarily at an advantage here. It's going to come down to the Orisa Hog versus Orisa Hog. Hoon, though, gets hooked on in, but able to take a breather, still totally fine. Cloman, on the other hand, under very heavy pressure. Body blocking is Hoon, but doesn't count for the Hanzo on the other side.
And now Wub finding 3, still pushing forward. Those picks, they finish it out. And even though he'll go down, Wub's picks guaranteeing that GRUNTo will finish it off. And I have to say, the Rob Hog has been looking very strong so far this series.
Might need to make a new copy pasta for Rob, is all I gotta say about that one. Ana is gone. It's all about his hog now.
Skyfox is now making a swap here into a dive. A full dive setup here, the Genji Tracer coming out. They're hoping to try to get to this backline and isolate Zolik, maybe one of the snipers for GRUNTo.
Rob again! Finds Cloman, but here comes Who Are You? Nano Blade. Look out. Gets Hog's back. Oh no. Goes, all right, I can't go to the main group. I guess I'll find Widow. Searching their way, has to be satisfied with 1. That's decent mitigation of a Nano Blade from GRUNTo.
How does Skyfox stop this point though? They still need to stop this point. The supercharger's out. There's a bomb available.
Oh, Who Are You going in again? 32%. Bomb out. GRUNTo, good presence on the point. Cloman gonna fall again to Rob's relentless assault. Spectral doing work into the back. And Wub, alive at 30 HP, deals with the Boostio pressure and hungry for more.
Oh, Wub. The Hanzo for Wub has been huge, leading from second to last. He just constant picks, constant damage. And Skyfoxes just couldn't break the bunker. They couldn't break the bunker. At any point, they just didn't have the value they needed. Who Are You? He gets Blade, but he never was able to find a big enough Blade because they just used the whole hog as appealing. It's tough for a Genji to walk in and find any sort of value versus a whole hog because you're just getting blasted away.
One thing that I will say, though, that's a really good positive omen for Skyfoxes here as they look forward to the future, where, bear in mind, the future is not getting second seed. That is done and over with, not something they can get. Who Are You is still an absolute force of nature on DPS heroes. What he was doing on Genji there at times, crazy. Very quick blade builds, well-timed execution. And to think, we're going to be heading into a meta where potentially he could be playing that hero a whole lot more.
I mean, also for the rest of Skyfoxes, I think that Boostio as well is going to be much more comfortable off the Zarya role, going into a hit scan or a tracer role. So I think that Skyfoxes has the potential to level up. But when we look at their seeding, it's very likely they're going to have to level up against Atlanta, who's also going to be leveling up. So it's still a tough, really, really tough path forward, I think, for Skyfoxes. And GRUNTo maintaining their second seed, looking strong as ever.
GRUNTo just incredibly solid the entire series long, and you look at how they've been meshing together. I'd argue that the first few games of Spectral in weren't necessarily the greatest, but now he's had time to acclimate to the roster, and I think this is probably the best series we've seen from Spectral yet with the squad.
I think Spectral had an incredible series. That's definitely 100% true for him. He was hitting some crazy flicks. It's clear that GRUNTo have managed to mesh the flexibility for Spectral, especially being able to go to those DPS roles and have Salty be the one to worry more about the flex tanks, has been good for them. It's been very good for them. I think they're going to make a pretty solid transition as well. It's more of a question of, do they have the same ceiling, I think, that they have right now in a 2-2-2 lock?
Well, guys, we've had 3 matches here today, but don't worry, we still got one more. Come check it out when we get back.